Hello YouTube, welcome to Sunday in the Shop. Don't stutter, you can do this. This took a lot of hours. I was in the house under the weather because we had a wind chill yesterday like you wouldn't believe. Down in the single digits they were talking about in some places. And then right now, it says, thermometer says it's about between 45 and 50 somewhere, but the wind's blowing 25 mile an hour. No, it's not warm out. You see my crosshatch? I have pictures at the end. You'll see how deep the pits were in here. First I sanded this way, and then this way. Excuse me, do not belch on camera. I do not want to have to stop recording. Too much coffee and cocoa. I mean, you can see it. You can see where I went in different directions to take the rust out. I just can't quit doing this. Excuse me, I do not want to make a second take on this. I want to get busy. Yeah, look for the pictures. It was on my desk out there and it really rusted. I want to put something on here, the bottom, so I can put my drill bits in there. So then I can pick it up and have my drill bits instead of digging in the box, because I use a lot of common drill bits. Like, if we can get it out here. See, we're fumbling. Like, say out of this box. I use a lot of drill bits out of this box, okay? Common ones. I'll get it open later. I don't need to open it now. Anyway, it'd be nice to have the drill bits in there, wouldn't it? You just reach in and grab what you want. And I may actually, I don't think I have to mark them. Can you guess what size what? When we come back, we're going to tell you what each size this is. So just hang on and we will find out. Okay, we've got mostly our good cobalt bits in here. We broke this one, but we do have another set. Okay, this is what I come up with. This is an 1/8 of an inch right here. This one. This is 5/16. This is 9/64, a little bit bigger than an 1/8. This is a 3/8 bit. This is a 1/4 inch bit. 3/16. 7/16, 1/2 inch, and that's about a 5/8 hole. So hopefully you got that on camera. Yeah, I've got another set of these, a big set. I really don't need the big drill bits in here because they're not going to fit my 3/8 drills. So it'd look nice to have them in there if I go out and get my other set, because this set doesn't go very big. I bought 2 of these sets. This is probably the $20 one. The other one's probably $40 because I got tired of cheap bits that broke and weren't sharp. And I did a video on time and showed on bits. On the big ones, there's your cutter edge. Go to the left. The left, it was just as high as the cutter was. They'd have to be totally reground on most of the big bits because they were not proper. When you grind a bit this back, I'm sure you see what I mean. See, that's the back. See, it goes up. Some of them cheap brands, imports, they were not worth even buying. I bought 2 sets before. I'd grab one and figure, why won't this drill? Until I started studying and finding out they were improperly ground. I had to regrind a bigger one. So let's see what else trouble we can get into. Like, try to make a bottom of this, because this ain't gonna do no good trying to pick this up. We'll be back. We'll find something. Okay, this is about 2.5 inches either way. You see how we cut it so it won't fall in the hole? It kind of hangs up there. We're gonna try to put some foil tape on here and then take a razor blade so it's sealed right here. Now I know if you use it as a block to drive a pin out, you're not gonna, well, you could probably shake it out the hole. So, because we want to be able to use it. We need a bench block, we're going to use it. So I figure if I drive out a roll pin, I can't get it out. we'll figure out something then. I want something so I can pick up my drill bits thing without them all falling through the bottom. So here we go. Let's get some tape on here. Okay, here's my fix. Just foil tape around it. Octagon, you know, do it 4 times, then do the corners. I think that's self-explanatory. And I just went around with a pair of scissors and cut it off. Just cheap. My cheap scissors. I drew it on a piece of plastic. You kind of see where I don't know if you can see it in the light. So I went, cut past the line, went out of the circle, just to get the scissors to turn. I don't know if you know what I mean when you do that. Sometimes, like, you cut the extra plastic off, get it out of your way or the paper. We're going to work on these. We redid these before. That's our next project for today. We're going to clean them up better. Let's get the drill bits in here, and then we'll be done with this part. Okay, the big test. Wouldn't it be terrible to do that to your friend in the shop? He's got this. You take the bottom off. That's not nice. Things that guys do that things practical to. You might get poked in the nose. Let's grab my drill index. No, if you gotta use a bench block, you just shake the pin out or do something. But yeah, that's a lot better. See, then we can slide that back in there. Okay, let's go on to see if we can make these look a little better. They just look nasty. There's one of them things, when I got these, they were so sharp, this metal right here could cut your hands open. And there was a screw in there that was wore out so bad that I don't know what I did to put a pencil in it, but I'm about ready to get rid of that part. I scribe a lot of stuff, so I think this is going to disappear. I don't like it. I've got one with a pencil somewhere, the pencil that I want to draw circles. I use these for dividers. They will scrape plastic metal. I do not want this. So it's gone. But don't throw that stuff away. Put it in my dumpster. You know, I showed you that before. I call it my dumpster. You're throwing it away, but you're not. You can always root to the garbage for something. So stay tuned. We'll do a little work and get these apart. I don't know what it takes, so I don't think they come apart here. But we're going to find out how much they come apart so I can work on them easier. Stay tuned for more excitement. Okay, this took a little work. One side was flared a little better, but when we put it back together, we'll paint it over again. We just wanted to get these apart so I can work on them better. And don't you hate when they put a rivet and pound something in a blind hole? I know a shop teacher on YouTube who just, that's one of his pet peeves. Or drilling and tapping a blind hole that don't go all the way through. You better know what you're doing. You think I can get that out? If I mangle the vice grips, I'm not too worried. I had the vice grips on here twisting these. I'll just clean them up with my Dremel stuff. I laid it across here, which I shouldn't. I should have been using my bench block. But I had that on my metal plate. You know, that 6-inch plate. But it came out pretty easy. I tapped it on both sides and see which side looked better. It looked like, well, it's ready to go that way. Okay, back to work. That's just a minor thing to put that back together. Let's see if this will come out. Okay, we're drilling about the dullest bit we own. What we did is we ground off the rivet, got the arm off there, okay? And then we kept grinding this till it was flush. Took our Dremel tool. I set on stuff like that, like on pins, like on a knife, and make a crater in there. So the drill bit will be in the center. So it's worth taking the time to Dremel, you know, part of the hole down, make it that. That way you got something for the drill bit to start instead of trying to center punch it. And center punching ain't the greatest either because it can swell the pin. But I don't know if we're halfway or not. We just don't want to break a bit because we're going to be all over trying to find a bit. If we had to, this will probably end up being like what? A 3 or 4 metric bolt. We're trying to go all the way through it and put a bolt and nut on it. we don't like that blind rivet in a whole thing. And we want these all apart so we can redo them better. So, back to work. We did it, we did it. We felt like jumping up and down doing a jig, and it don't look too bad. And I don't know what kind of metal this is, but it almost seemed like it got easier to drill towards the end. So that pin was probably hard. That's a 3mm bolt in an 1/8" drill bit hole. So I come out of my kit. If you watched me last winter build my little stoves, I said you can find these all over the internet. You do not have to. There's more than one place to buy them. So I'm not going to mention Amazon. Oh, I just didn't. You can find them all over. And these come with a receipt. I want to show you this. I'm going to bust that. See that? Whenever you see this on engines and stuff, it came from a pretty good factory. It's that OC01 whatever. That means something. That's just not hoopla. Hoopla. Of course, you know what they're made, but still, when it comes to this, it's a little bit better factory. And see how I wrote this down here? I'll show you. The size of the bolt, what the nut is, and what Allen wrench you use in the head of it, because they're Allen-headed screws. I think you know that by now. See? But that shows you what wrench you need. Well, I put them back in my toolbox, so I will improvise or go find one. I had them separated and laying here. They don't belong here. They belong on my set in my toolbox drawer. Okay, back to work. See? I told you I needed this vise. I didn't lie. I cleaned it up. I told you I had a project coming up. Just to prove to people who think I'm a liar. Trust me, I don't trust anybody who says that. Trust me, I know what I'm doing. Here, hold my beer. Anyway, back to work. Okay, we're using a sanding drum on here. Okay. Now look at the top one. I don't know if you can tell. Look at the bottom one. The top one looks better. I'm going very, very fast on it. Because that thing will make little bumps and divots. And it'll end up looking like the sandpaper because it bounces. It's not a good thing to use. But if you look at it, it is a little better quality. I may put a bolt there instead of the rivet. I did show you that, how I got it to punch out, whatever the best way was. It could have been that way, it had that edge. I may put a bolt in there. Because I think it's a metric 5. Well, you know that little bracket's got a metric 3 in it, so that's going to be nice. So, hey, make it easier to clean, bolt together, and then you can adjust the tightness of how you want that instead of smashing that. Because they were stiff. I worked them, they'd set and I had to use them, and they're really stiff to open and close. I did not like that, and putting oil in there is not going to help it. I couldn't even tell that it had these rivets in it until I started pounding on it. Because they had been ground flush. There, that's the good side. You could not tell it was in there until you did some grinding and sanding on it. Okay, back to work. Okay, we are done. We are going to put some Loctite on these nuts. Ain't that nicer instead of having that pin? And I think we're going to grind that nut and bolt like halfway down. And another thing, we're going to take this inside tonight and do some more sandpaper to make it look a little nicer. But it looks good right now. But that's better than trying to put that rivet back in there. I lost my Allen wrenches. I had them taken out of the set, okay. I showed you in the bolts. Had those three, and they were in the case with the bolts, and I was positive I took them out and put them back in here. Well, they're not in that kit. So I don't know where they're at. I'm going to have to look and see if they might be in here. I don't know. But that's it for this week. look for pictures I might have left over some projects or something I didn't make a video. So, see you next time. We're out here. We're going to the house eating supper. It's almost 6 o'clock at night.